guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a Q&A / get ready with me. I really wanted to do my makeup before I come on and did a Q&A, but like whenever I do my makeup, I get so many comments asking for me to do a get ready with me or makeup tutorial. This isn't a makeup tutorial, but I just thought, why not? While I'm answering you guys' questions, I asked you on the community tab, why not get ready at the same time? So that's what today's video is. I have skimmed through the questions and they are all weight loss, health, fitness, muscle gain, all of that kind of related. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to just watch the video. I will be trying to get through as many questions as possible. So what I'm going to do is while I'm doing my makeup, I'm going to answer the questions. And when I finish my makeup, then I will finish answering the questions because there is so many questions. I'm still getting so many more. Let me know in the comments down below after this video whether you would like me to carry on the Q&A in another video, because I'll be happy to do that. So yeah, let's just get started. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and click the bell button so you become the part of the family here on YouTube. We are almost at 80k subscribers, guys. We have almost grown to 80,000. That is insane to me. I'm so grateful to every single one of you. I appreciate you guys so much. If you enjoy this video, find it helpful, then leave a like. It really helps out the video, shows me that, you know, you guys enjoy it, which is really important because I'm making content for you guys. So if you like the video, please be sure to leave a like. Comment down below. Comment down below a makeup brush because we are about to do makeup. I am not a makeup artist, professional or anything like that, okay? I don't like to do makeup videos anymore because I literally am just not like, I like makeup, but I'm just not, I don't feel like I'm the best at it, okay? So please don't be like, oh, okay, she's trying to show me tips and stuff because I'm like, alright, I'm not makeup. Don't know whether this is going to be a long video, guys, so make sure you grab a cup of coffee or a drink. You can watch to see me do my makeup, or you can listen while you do cardio, or while you're on your walk, whatever. Let's just grab a coffee. I'm going to take my first sip of coffee because I need it. And I'm just going to do my makeup. I'm not going to like tell you what I'm doing. I'm just going to do my makeup while I'm answering the questions. Okay, so cute. This gives me like little schoolgirl vibes, like, you know, cute. Hi Louise, what do you do on those days when you just feel down in the dumps, flat or low in energy? How do you continue to push through if you are struggling with down days? Do you ever feel tired and overwhelmed by all your exercise, calorie tracking and just staying on track? What has been some of your proudest non-scale victories? Thanks, Louise. You continue to motivate me and give me new ideas when it comes to food. Oh, thank you. So on the days where I am feeling lower, lower energy, because I do get them, and I notice I get them like mostly once a month. Normally I'm on my implants, so I don't get periods, but it's kind of like PMS-y. I get the symptoms and stuff. So when I feel like that, I just literally just try and take it easier on myself. So when I go to the gym, if I've not got a lot of energy, I still go. Like most of the time I still go to the gym. Like I won't really skip a workout because I know that I will feel so much better after the workout than if I was to skip the workout. And because I'm in so much of a routine, to just skip the gym, it would take more effort for me to skip the gym than it would to not, because it's just all part of my routine and I always feel better after a workout. So I will go and do my workout still, but if I'm feeling weaker, which does happen in this time of the month, I will focus on lightening the weight. So I'll just like go one lighter or stay the same as what I was the week before instead of trying to hit personal best. And I'll just focus on like time under tension and just really just focus on the movement rather than trying to just like max out or get a new personal best and stuff. And then like in regards to food, I try to identify my emotions because I would identify myself as I'm a very emotional person, and when I'm emotional, when I'm feeling low, my coping mechanism has always been food. So even now when I am feeling lower, I notice I am more hungry, but I'm not like physically hungry. It's more of an emotional hunger where it's like I seek comfort with food. And I notice that even now, and it's something I've learnt to identify, whereas like before I didn't know the difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger. That's one of the reasons why I gained a lot of weight. So now obviously with counting calories and stuff, you kind of are a lot more aware of what you put into your body, or I am anyway, and identify that I'm feeling lower, and if I have chocolate cravings or stuff, I will allow myself to have it in moderation. I might even increase my calories a little bit more over the kind of lower days just to kind of fit like chocolates in or whatever, like if I'm really craving it. But I'll try to, throughout the whole day, try to focus on low calorie, high volume foods, so that I am like eating my meals, if that makes sense, and then just fit in a little bit extra, like, I don't know, like a little chocolate bar with my coffee or something, just to fit that in. And as long as like I kind of identify how I'm feeling, I try to work through my emotions, like why am I feeling this way and stuff. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. That's kind of how I cope with it, and I just take it a little bit easier on myself. I'll have like a pamper night if I know I'm feeling quite low. I'll run myself a nice bubble bath, do face mask, paint my nails, like shave everywhere, fake tan. Like I'll literally pamper myself, and it just makes me feel much better like for the next day. Listening to music massively helps me as well. Old music, like music that reminds me of like my teenage years, like, you know, like Usher, Acorn, like all of those kind of like music, and like I just listen to that and in my car on my own, turn the music up and sing, and that just always puts me in a better mood. And then going out for a nice walk and just taking it a bit easier. With calorie tracking and stuff, sometimes it can get like quite tedious, especially now like when I'm in like maintenance and stuff. It's like the same thing. So sometimes I just don't track, and I'll just eat the same meals, but I just won't track for a day if I really feel like I need it. Like you guys might have seen in a few of my what I eat in a days, it's like trying out intuitive eating and stuff, and I was doing that for quite a while as well, like a day here and there, just when I felt like I needed a break from calorie tracking, because it can be draining sometimes, like tracking every single thing. It's kind of hard, like it's actually hard to think about what my proudest non-scale victory is, because I just can't, I'm trying to think. So my proudest non-scale victory, it would have to just be like being able to like go for long walks, like walks for ages, because I couldn't do that before. Like going for a walk to the park when I was bigger, like just taking my kids to the park, which is just around the corner, was hard. Like it was actually really hard. So just being more fitter. I remember I was really happy when the towel could fit around me, like fully around me, around my body. Like that was fun, because I just remember like being so uncomfortable all the time, because even big towels, like it would touch here, but it would be like open here, and I just feel so exposed. And I remember the first time like it went round me, I was like so happy. I was like, look, I came running in from the bathroom, I was like, it wraps all the way around me, and I'm like fully covered, and I was like I don't have to like look for the biggest towels in the shop now, and just normal sized towels will fit me. Love you, girl. Because of you I lost 35 kilograms since July last year. Thank you. Well done, mate. Smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. I started gym recently. Never thought I would ever see the inside of one, but find it a bit intimidating and overwhelm myself with all the thoughts and questions in my head. How long should I gym for? Am I doing enough? Is it okay to do the machines only? How many reps? When do you start increasing the weights? When do you start increasing the weights you do the reps with? Does weight training count towards your moderate exercise of 150 minutes a week? Should my muscles hurt the next day? How many days do you do, etc, etc. So well done for joining the gym. That is like literally one of the hardest parts. Like I know just committing to the gym was kind of hard to me. Just going is where you start. That's how you start. Just go, even if it's just to go and look around, go to the toilet and just have an induction where you go and see the whole gym. I feel like that's an amazing place to start. How I started was I started by just on the treadmill, and I think that just helped me get more comfortable with going to the gym and creating that routine, and it got me some exercise in. So yeah, that's how I kind of started. How many days you go is completely up to you. It literally depends on your lifestyle and what you can fit in and how many days you're willing to go. So you don't really need to overthink it, especially when you're first joining the gym and your goal is to lose weight, because you don't have to go to the gym to lose weight. And that's another question that I saw, and there was, do you need to go to the gym to lose weight? And you don't. You literally can lose weight just by counting your calories, or just by being in a calorie deficit. So as long as you're eating less calories than you burn, then you don't need to go to the gym. Obviously, going to the gym is a good way to lose weight. You're increasing your calories burned, which is like makes it so much easier, but you don't have to go. So as long as you understand that, then you just know exercise is in addition to it, and it will help you out. So you don't actually have to go like 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. You can go like 1 to 2 times a week. If that's where you want to start by 1 day a week, 2 days a week, and you can move it to 3 days. Whatever fits into your lifestyle is the best. And can you do machines only? Yes, you can. I remember when I first started like going into the weights room, I just went on the machines because it was easier, and it's harder to mess up on the machines because they're designed literally to help you target that muscle. So yeah, you can start with just machines. If you wanted to progress to free weights and learn a lot more about lifting weights and stuff, I definitely recommend hiring a personal trainer at the gym so that they can show you. And what I found was really cool about my gym, I go to Pure Gym, is that they are now doing classes where it's like to show you how to lift and do like compound lifts and stuff. So if your gym offers that, then definitely recommend trying to go to that, because I think that's amazing. I wish they had that when I started. Just try not to overthink it. Going to the gym and stuff is fun. Just try and view it as that and just do little bits. Like start off gradually. You don't have to go and do a massive workout plan. Literally, you can start off very gradually. So yeah, well done for starting though, that's amazing. How many reps you do depends on what your goal is. If your goal is to build muscle, you want to hit like the hypertrophy range between like 8 reps and I think like 15. You could go up to like 15 reps. When you're new, you want to do lighter weights just so you can like, you don't want to go too heavy straight away. How you know when to increase the rate is when you can get like up to like, I don't know, say your goal is 12 reps. If you can get past 12 reps, then you know you need to increase the weight. So then you'll just gradually increase. You don't have to do massive increases. You can increase by like 1.25, 2.5 kilograms. Like that's what the weights are there for. I always feel like I get one eyebrow different. It's so annoying. If you're wondering, I know I'm probably going to get some questions about what eyebrow stuff I'm using. It is the Anastasia Beverly Hills dip brow thing and just a normal angle brush. This is in the colour dark brown. I don't know, people might ask me. Whenever I do my eyebrows I get complimented on them, so I thought I'll tell you. Okay, I need some coffee. Alright. Oh sorry, I forgot to answer this part. Does it count towards your moderate exercise of 150 minutes a week? It depends. I normally don't count it as my moderate activity a week. I guess if it's increasing your heart rate, then you could consider it, I guess. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't include it. I include like my walks, any exercise that gets your heart rate up. And while weights does, it's not really cardiovascular, if that makes sense. It's quite easy to go and lift weights. I find it harder to do cardio. So hey Louise, you are such an inspiration and I'm so grateful for you and all your videos. Oh, thank you. I'm so sad I now have cupboards full of various skinny foods and amazing products, and even Vimto. Yay! It's helped me so much having alternatives. My question is, do you ever look at your tracking and think, oh, I only have insert amount of calories left, and get frustrated and then give up? Basically, that's me. I have a budget of 1,600 calories and I find it so hard to stick to. I don't eat big meals. I eat lots of little ones. Sorry for the essay. Thank you again for all you do. Yes, girl, yes. Especially like when I'm eating in a calorie deficit. And one habit I've had recently is I get really hungry after the gym and I'm cleaning. Like my thing is, when I finish the gym, I like to do my housework and then I'll have lunch. But I come home from the gym really hungry, and by the time I finish my housework, I'm hungry and then I'm eating snacks while I'm making my lunch. So that adds up my calories really quickly. And then I find that like by dinner time, I don't have a lot of calories left. And I'm like, oh my days, I haven't given myself a lot of calories left for dinner. And it's just frustrating. But how I manage that is, instead of just like giving up altogether, is I might allow myself like 100 or 200 extra calories to just make a decent meal for dinner and just know, okay, I need to plan better tomorrow. And also another thing I do is like I will eat like loads of like veg for dinner, like lower calorie, high volume foods, so that it will be a filling dinner but for a little bit of calories, if that makes sense. And yeah, that's kind of how I do it, and try to have a plan of, it's better to just plan your meals and snacks. The smaller meals works for you, that's great, but if you find that you're not got enough calories by the end of the day, maybe try and fit maybe bigger meals that will keep you a bit more satiated, and just have a plan of how many calories you can have on each meal. Maybe it would be a good idea to kind of split out, like divide your 1,600 calories and figure out how many calories you want to spend on breakfast, lunch, dinner, and all your meals and snacks. And kind of, if you don't want to plan your meals ahead of time, you can kind of just have a calorie goal you want to kind of stick to, so that you know that you're, okay, like my lunch is going to be 400 calories, my dinner is going to be 500 calories, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And as long as you're sticking with that, you shouldn't have the problem of running out of calories by the end of the day. Hi Louise, you're such an incredible inspiration. Thank you. My question is, can you put muscle on in a calorie deficit? Can being too lean hurt your progress? Thank you for all of the wonderful info you provide. Oh, thank you. You can definitely put muscle on in a calorie deficit. I started weight training while I was still losing fat, and I found that my body recomposition changed massively. So I lost fat and built muscle at the same time. But Alternatively, you can be too lean to build muscle in a calorie deficit. So for example, me trying to lose weight now and build muscle at the same time would be very, very hard, because I don't have a lot of excess body fat for my body to use, because to build muscle, your body just needs energy and a stimulus of muscle growth and protein. So the energy can come from the food you're eating, or your body can actually use body fat, which is literally stored excess energy. When you're losing fat, if you are like quite overweight, your body can actually use the excess body fat, as long as your calorie deficit isn't too big. So to lose fat and build muscle at the same time, you would want to make sure that you are eating in the smallest deficit that you can to lose weight. You're not losing weight too quickly, and that you're prioritizing your protein intake and stuff. But if you're too lean, you don't have that excess body fat. It can just be like, what's the word when your body just eats muscle? Catabolic. It could be catabolic. Even like when I was in bikini prep and stuff, I wouldn't have been able to, especially by the end, I would not have been able to build muscle and lose fat. If anything, I did definitely lose quite a bit of muscle in bikini prep, which thankfully muscle memory is a thing. And when I started eating more and training like properly again and stuff, because obviously I didn't have a lot of energy to train properly or as hard as I could by the end. So yeah, so thankfully for muscle memory and stuff, I was able to put that muscle back on, and it was such a good feeling to like finally have like my muscle back, because I feel like I definitely did lose quite a bit of muscle. I did maintain quite a bit. I just tried to keep my protein as high as possible and stuff, and we did our best to try and maintain muscle. But if you're not on like any performance enhancers and stuff, you're going to lose muscle. Definitely being too lean can be counterproductive, because you just don't have the energy to build the muscle, and your body will start using muscle for energy. So hey, just want to thank you for being such an inspiration. I've been watching you since I first started my journey last year. My question is, how do you get over the frustration of not seeing any results for weeks on end? I retain water during my period, and it sometimes takes weeks to regulate despite being in a calorie deficit and working out. It always gets me down, especially when I see others consistently losing. I know I shouldn't compare, but it frustrates me when I know I'm probably doing everything right, and that is probably water weight. I understand 100%. I remember when I started to get my periods, after I lost quite a bit of weight, I started to get my periods, because obviously, like I said, I've been on an implant for years and I never got periods. But then I started to get periods, and I had weeks where I was like maintaining, or even like had like a slight gain, and it is so, and even now it happens, it's so frustrating. I understand that it could be really disheartening, but that's why you have to remember that the scale is only one tool. And I've forgotten my brushes. Let me go get my brushes. Sorry about that, I forgot my brushes. But yeah, just remember that the scale is a tool, like one tool of measurement, and that when you are holding water for whatever reason, whether you're on your period or you're just like, I don't know, you might have, sometimes you just hold more water, do you know what I mean? I don't know. There's other measurements. So just go by like how your clothes feel. It's kind of hard, because obviously when you are holding water, you're a bit more puffy and bloated, but just try to be patient and understand that, like, be like reflective, if that makes sense, like really honest with yourself. Like, do take a step back in them times and be like, have I been slipping on my diet a bit? Have I been eating a little bit more that I'm not tracking? Like, just be really real with yourself, because sometimes that is the case, that you are like, I don't know, taking bites of food here and there and you're not tracking it, and you're kind of thinking if it's not tracked it don't count, and it does, trust me. I've tried to trick my body, but no, my fitness pal, doesn't matter whether you track it or not, it counts, alright? Just go by like measurements, pictures, how your body like looks in clothes, how you are fitting in clothes, and if weighing yourself is like quite triggering for you in them times, just don't weigh yourself, and wait till you're off your period and give it a few days when you start feeling more yourself and less bloated, and then weigh yourself. I personally find weighing myself daily really helpful, because you can see the weight fluctuations, and you can almost kind of know a pattern with, like, if you've had a bad night's sleep and you weigh a lot more the next day, then, and that consistently happens, and you know when you've had a bad sleep, you kind of know, like, when I step on a scale, it's probably going to be up a couple of pounds, and that's normal for me. And like, I don't know, if you wake up sore after a really hard workout the day before, you know, and you weigh yourself and you're usually quite heavier on them days, you understand that, okay, I'm going to be quite heavier. Or if you know you ate a bowl of pasta the day before, even when it's within your calories, and you know I tend to weigh a little bit more the days after I've eaten pasta, then you kind of like just understand your body's like patterns, and it's just good to know so that you're not just randomly slipping on a scale one day, seeing it going up and then panicking. Do you know what I mean? Hi Louise, I can't think of a question to ask, but wanted to say you've done an amazing job of building muscle. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm wearing a top you can't see, damn it. I'm a long distance runner and I strength train, so they do kind of work against each other at times. I know a lot of women worry they'll get big chunky muscles from lifting, but it's blooming hard for us girls to gain muscles. You good thing, you're amazing. Oh, thank you so much. And yes, you cannot just build muscle by lifting weight and get bulky and manly. It just does not work like that at all. It does not work like that. I wish it did. I wish I did turn into She-Hulk overnight after lifting a few weights, but it doesn't work like that. It's literally, I train a lot and I train as hard as I can, and I still don't look like She-Hulk, which is the goal for Halloween, which is coming right up. Happy October, guys. Who loves October? Comment down below a orange leaf, because autumn, October. Do you not see I've got the autumny vibes? I literally put this on because I was like, it's autumn vibes. Autumn vibes, I love autumn. Hey Louise, how long does it take to start seeing muscle from strength training? I've actually got quite a few questions about how long does it take to see muscle growth, and I don't know, most of you guys probably seen the video, how long does it take to see physical changes in weight loss, where I literally go through all of my pictures during my weight loss journey, like my fat loss journey, and I kind of show and talk about my journey losing weight and how long it took me to see those physical changes. So I was thinking, because I've got like quite a few questions of people asking how long did it take for me to see physical changes in muscle, I was wondering if you guys would want to see a video where I do a similar kind of thing, but regarding muscle, like showing like how long it took me to see changes in my muscle. I'm sure I literally take pictures and videos all the time on my Instagram. I'm sure I can go through and find loads and just see how it's gone over time, and I think it'll be interesting for me myself as well, because I know I definitely have made progress and stuff, but I can't physically say like, oh, it took me this long to grow my biceps, it took me this long to grow my delts, it took me this long to grow my glutes. Although I do want to do a video like explain how I've grown my glutes, because I am actually so proud of my glute progress. Like, I literally, when I lost weight, I lost my butt, and yeah, it does. I will say this though right now, is that growing muscle, building muscle takes a lot more time and a lot more patience than losing fat does. Losing fat in comparison to building muscle is so much easier, because literally you don't have to be that specific with losing fat. All you need is a calorie deficit, and that's it. As long as you're eating in a calorie deficit, you will lose fat. And I know it's hard, it's not simple, like it's simple but it's not easy, if that makes sense. But building muscle, it's so much harder, it's so much more complicated, there's a lot more stuff that goes into it. Like, you have so many factors that you need to, you know, have right in order to optimally build muscle, and it takes a lot more time, and yeah, it is a lot longer. So I will say that, but let me know about the video, guys, if you want to see that, because I feel like that would be a really cool video. Because you have dieted previously, do you ever find it's different or harder to diet and lose fat each time you diet again? Example, do your steps and cardio need to be more, and do you have to cut calories quicker than before? Like, actually love you and your channel so much, you're my inspiration. Oh, thank you. I love you too. I literally love all of you guys. Whenever I get nice messages from you guys, it literally makes me so happy for like the whole day. I'm like smiling, so thank you. Honestly, thank you. I wouldn't say it's because you have to do more steps and more cardio, etc., because as long as you're not cutting your calories too low, you shouldn't have to, you know what I mean, like keep cutting and cutting and cutting it. That's why it's so important to do it very gradually and start small, because when you do continue to lose weight, your body will eventually try to reach homeostasis, because it likes homeostasis, so it will try to regulate, and once you get smaller as well, your calories will drop, like your energy expenditure needs will like decrease. So yeah, you do end up having to like change it up a bit, which is why it's important not to go too crazy. And that's what I'm glad that when I started losing weight, I didn't go like cut my calories way too low. Well, to be fair, I started on 1,800 calories, which I definitely could have lost probably 2,000, considering how much weight I started dropping straight away. I could have started on a higher amount of calories, which I didn't. But thankfully for me, I was still kind of losing weight for a very long time on 1,800 calories, and then I remember it started to really slow down, so I went to 1,500 calories, and my weight loss sped up. But then I started weightlifting, I got really hungry, my weight started dropping quite quickly. Well, first it didn't drop for a while when I first started, and then it started dropping quite a lot, so I increased my calories back to 1,800, and I was able to lose all of my weight basically on 1,800 calories. But I will say, mentally, it's harder to lose weight again when you've already lost weight and when you aren't massively overweight anymore. It was a lot easier for me to stick to my calorie deficit when I was losing weight, when I was bigger, because I was so motivated. I just did not want to be bigger. I had a bigger reason why, I think. Like, I just wanted to be healthier, and that was very motivating. Like, I really didn't want to give up. And once I started seeing progress and I'd reached a certain point, I was like, there's no way that I'm going to go all the way back. I've not done all of this for nothing. So it was a lot easier then. And then during prep, it was easier to stick to a calorie deficit because you're going to step on stage. Like, I was like, there's no way I'm doing this and I'm going to mess it up. Like, there was literally, it felt easy to do prep because I was just like, I'm not messing it up for anyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would I be doing this if I'm gonna mess it up? Like, I was just like, no, there was no way I was gonna like mess it up. But like, I'm in like a cut now, and it is a lot harder because I'm fairly happy with my body fat. Like, I'm not like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of them things where I'm like, oh, I don't really need to lose fat. It's just like I'm in a little mini cut just to like kind of cut down a little bit because I want to be a little bit leaner, but at the same time, like, it's not a big thing for me. So it's a lot harder for me to stick to my calorie deficit now because like, I'm just not as like, I don't want it as much as I did when I lost weight. So in that sense, it's like mentally harder. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my sister's had a baby. Yay! My sister gave birth on Friday and she started her labour basically. She broke her waters on Wednesday, and then we was in the hospital Thursday. So I missed Thursday and Friday's gym session. And I did not sleep Thursday. I had like 1 hour sleep on a hard floor because I was my sister's birthing partner. And I didn't stick to my calorie deficit. I just didn't. Like, I feel like if I was in prep, I would have still stuck to it. I would have bought meals to the hospital. But because I'm not, I don't feel like I really have to, if that makes sense. I'm doing it more for fun. Yeah, it's basically more for fun. Like, it's just more for aesthetics, if that makes sense. So it's not something that I was kind of like really bothered about. I was more wanting to just get quicker foods, snacky foods that we could sit in the hospital with, and I could just be there for my sister because she was like my priority. And on Friday, I only got like 6,000 steps. And that's only because I was going to get the coffees and stuff and walking to the cafeteria. So yeah, mentally, it is harder. Love that you're enjoying spin cycling at the moment. Are there any sports you'd be inclined to try or pursue, or would you have considered to try? Me and Ashley want to do pole dancing. I'm going to join pole dancing. That's something I really want to do. It looks really fun. And I feel like it would just build up my confidence a bit and make me feel like, because I'm genuinely not a sexy person. I feel like I have a lot of humour and I'm silly, but like, I'm not sexy. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like it will help me bring out my sexy side. And I really want to have a sexy side. So we do want to do some pole dancing. So I have actually inquired about it. And there's a 6-week course that we're going to do, and it's literally around the corner from me. So I am going to try and do pole dancing. So yeah, if you've got any pole dancers here, let me know. Have you ever done pole dancing? Because yeah, I would love to do that. And it's a good exercise as well. And yeah, you never know. You might one day see a pole in my living room. I'm joking, I wouldn't. But yeah, it looks really fun. It's a great exercise. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Hi Louise, I'm scared to start exercising after years of no exercise, as I know how painful my muscles can feel. Wonder what you'd suggest other than walking, of course. How should I start? Thank you. It is absolutely normal to feel some sort of soreness after you exercise, but the kind of level of soreness that will make you so scared to exercise is because you're probably going from not doing any exercise at all to then like going on a crazy workout program or like doing some crazy workout and just killing your muscles, right? And then of course that's going to cause like a lot of pain the next day. So a little bit of soreness the next day, that's okay. Like, that's normal, especially when you haven't exercised in a long time. But the way I would say to start is start off very small. If you start by walking and then you go in the gym and I don't know, you do like the cross trainer, do 10 minutes, start 5 minutes, 10 minutes, very slowly. If you're going to start lifting weights, lift very light weights and don't go to like failure. Like, just train light and then you just gradually build yourself up. There's no need to go crazy when you start the gym. Anyone that asks, this is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. Is so old. I don't even know if makeup goes off, but if it does, this will be off because this is years and years old. Look at it. But yeah, just thought I'd show you guys, and I'm going to go for browns. Autumn vibes. Gonna go for autumn vibes today. Gradually build yourself up, because yeah, you don't need to start off crazy. You're gonna get sore, and yeah, so start off with very light. If you're gonna do weights, light weights, high reps, and just focus on form, and you're learning. Like, that's the best place to start. You don't get to the top of a ladder by jumping to the top. You climb. So that's kind of how you need to think of it with diet and exercises. You could start at the bottom and gradually build yourself up. Did you need a personal goal to aim for when you originally lost weight? Once that goal was hit, what was your biggest struggle to maintain? I find losing the easiest part compared to maintaining. I always need something to aim for, and when I have no goal, I lose start and start gaining weight again. 100%. That is something I learned when I hit maintenance. It is so much harder to just, like, once you've seen yourself lose weight and you're always like consistently feel like you're progressing, and you're getting somewhere, to then maintain the same, it is a lot more kind of like, you almost have this feeling like, what now? What now? Like, and you get bored. And that is the point where a lot of people end up giving up. I say giving up, but especially if you haven't built in lifestyle habits, it's almost like you don't want to bother anymore, and you can start slipping back into old habits. So yeah, I did find having goals, and not necessarily like weight goals or anything, but just simply for me it was building muscle, and not just building muscle, but like progressing on the lifts in the gym. Things like that, like little goals, and making sure I'm setting my step goals every day, making sure like I'm enjoying the exercise I'm doing. If I get bored of the food I'm eating, I have Greg Doucette's Anabolic Cookbook, so I'll try out different recipes from there. Little things like that where it just makes it more enjoyable. I just have to always be vigilant. Like, if I notice I'm getting bored or I just feel lost, then it is nice to kind of set some goals. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like always physical. It can be literally like the habits that you're doing. Do you think that extreme hunger has ever been an issue for you? How do you overcome extreme hunger? That is, if you've had it. Is it volume eating or putting on more muscle? P.S. You look amazing, my danko. I have experienced extreme hunger, yes. Especially, I would say more extreme hunger when I was prepping for my bikini competition. That was, yeah, that's extreme hunger. What's actually funny is, I feel like before I lost weight, if that makes sense, like when I was bigger, I feel like I never knew it. I wasn't something that was a conscious feeling or thought. I don't think it was conscious. I think it was more subconscious. I feel like I was scared of being hungry, so I would always put more food than I knew I needed on my plate and on other people's plates. When I'm dishing food, I always would give bigger portions and make sure I've got enough food, because I was scared to be hungry almost, and I would like never allow myself to feel hunger. Just to think of it now, it's just so weird, but I was almost scared to be hungry, so I'd always make sure I had too much food. And then I had the clean my plate mentality, so I'd always put loads of food on my plate because I wouldn't want to be hungry, and it's like I was almost scared that if it wasn't enough, I never had the thought that I could just go up and get more food off if I was still hungry. So it was always like, okay, I've got to put loads on my plate because yeah, I want to make sure I've got enough. But then I had the clean my plate mentality where I'm like, okay, I need to finish all this food, so I'd end up force feeding myself and eating past being full, because I was scared to be hungry. So it's just funny. But yeah, when I was losing weight and stuff, I had to get comfortable with the fact that I was going to be hungry, and it's okay to feel hunger, and it's actually really important to be able to notice when you're gradually starting to feel hungry. You shouldn't really let yourself get starving to the point where you just like can't control yourself almost, and that you need to just grab food, and you can then overeat because you just eat very quickly and you're not like allowing yourself to feel yourself get full. But it's okay to feel a little bit hungry sometimes. Like, it's okay to feel that gradual hunger coming on. We have access to food, we will survive. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can go and make food, we're not going to starve to death. And I feel like that was something that was really important for me to learn throughout my weight loss journey. But the extreme hunger, definitely I felt that in prep, because obviously as my body fat got very, very low, like I was just in a constant state of hunger, and it was almost to the point where you're in such a constant state of hunger that you forget, like you don't actually feel the hunger. So my hunger cues wasn't even in my stomach anymore. It just came to the point of being moody, grouchy, tired, lethargic, like just not the best person to be around, forgetful. Oh my days, like I had brain fog all the time. Then after show, I experienced really strong hunger, as I feel like I started to allow myself to eat more, which then like once I was eating a little bit more, it was like my body was just like, come on, more food, more food, more food, and it was just sending like so many hunger signals for me. I was just starving like all the time. So yeah, I did deal with that. I feel like you shouldn't be extremely hungry. You should be able to sit with some hunger and like actually be able to feel hungry and know that, okay, it's time to eat, because I feel like it's important to be able to know that and know when you're actually hungry, and when you're, and know the difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger, because they are two different things. I'm a very emotional person. I'm a Cancer. Shout out fellow Cancers. Let me know if you're a Cancer. But yeah, I am an emotional person, and I feel like I've always had such strong emotions, and to comfort myself I used food. So when I would feel really strong emotions, I would turn to food a lot, and I didn't know the difference between that hunger, like the emotional comfort, wanting to comfort myself with food because I didn't like to deal with my emotions, the difference between that and actually feeling physically hungry. So it's important to know the difference, and that's something I learned. The way I deal with my hunger, make sure I'm able to eat in a calorie deficit and lose weight at the same time without being hungry, is like I always say, like high volume, low calorie dense foods, fill up on lots of fruits and vegetables. But if I'm still hungry by the end of the day, like actually really hungry, and I've eaten all my calories for the day, I know my body isn't lying to me. I'm hungry, I will eat a little bit more, but I'll try to fill up on the high protein diet, lower calorie, high volume foods. And yeah, sometimes it's okay to be hungry, like just for my fellow people out there who were like me and was scared to be hungry. It's okay. I think I'm gonna go for a sparkle. Look at this, it's a Revolution palette. Can you see? Revolution is a highlighter kind of one, but I do like the golds and stuff, and I'm feeling for a goldy colour. And also, yeah, putting on muscle definitely does help because you can increase your calories. But yeah, but then that just means that your energy expenditure is more. So you're not necessarily less hungry because you get to eat more food. You're just burning more calories. So I feel like that's a big misconception as well, is that people think that when people have a high energy expenditure and they can eat more calories, that they suffer less when they're dieting, which is not true, because everyone's body needs is different. Like you could be eating 1,200 calories, but if you're burning 1,200 calories a day and that's all your body needs, and you're not going to be hungrier than someone who is eating 2,000 calories but burning 3,000 calories a day. They're going to be more hungry. It's a misconception. The only difference is they get to have more choices and more variety of what they eat. So yeah. Did you have a goal weight? How to set realistic goals and create a weight loss plan? Video of how to start a journey would be also lovely. Correct mindset, how to overcome laziness, comfort zone, etc. I remember thinking, because I was like a size 20, 22 in jeans, I remember thinking if I get to a size 14, because I remember being like a teenager at size 14, and I just remember thinking, okay, if I get to a size 14, which would have been around 14 stone, I don't know what that is in pounds, like that would be my goal, if that makes sense. But I never had like a set number, because I was like, I just don't know how I will feel. But I just remember thinking that would be a good size, but I knew I had like to hit a healthier BMI and not be obese anymore. I would have to lose like 100 pounds. So I knew I needed to lose, my goal was to lose 100 pounds, but I knew that it could be more or less depending on how I felt, and I more went with how I felt. And I ended up losing more than 100 pounds. So I started in January and my birthday was in July. So I remember thinking, okay, you can lose 2 pounds a week. And then I worked out how many weeks there was till my birthday. And I did, instead of doing 2 pounds a week, I was realistic and I did 1 pound, and I worked it out. And I was like, so by my birthday, I will weigh this amount. And that's my goal. So that's kind of how I set my goals realistic. I mean, I should have, I could have accounted for some weeks not losing, but I didn't. But yeah. Hi Louise, forgive me for this one. If there was a ban on all low calorie, no calorie food substitutes, how do you think you would manage? I have a very restricted diet as my body doesn't digest a wide variety of foods. I'm 65 pounds down, but it has taken 4 years, and I don't care that it's taken so long. How I feel and how I look make up for it. I can't eat most of the foods you do, but I still love your videos. Thank you. Well, one thing, I'll be very depressed because that means no Pepsi Max. Oh, let's turn this. I'll be very depressed because that means no Pepsi Max, no Skinny Food Co. And it would make it a lot harder, but it doesn't make it impossible. So it would make it harder, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it would be a bit more depressing because you just wouldn't be able to enjoy it as much. But I would eat loads of fruits, loads of veg, loads of like lean meats. I'd eat potato, like fresh whole foods. I'll still eat a whole foods diet. I just wouldn't be able to add those extra sweeteners in or anything that just makes it taste a little bit better. But you would eventually get used to it. I like to have sweeteners because they're 0 calories and they make the food taste nice. And it's like a lower calorie substitute to the food I used to love when I was bigger. So I have a sweet tooth. I've always had a sweet tooth, which I actually know. Have I actually always had a sweet tooth? I don't think I have actually, because I used to love more like meaty burgers and stuff. But when I had my last son, I then like turned into more sweet. So it just allows me to just feel like it's not that hard, if that makes sense. But at the same time, what if you cut out sugars or sweeteners and stuff like that, your taste buds do adjust. Like my taste buds have massively adjusted since losing the weight and like changing my diet and stuff. So I feel like eventually I would get used to not having that stuff, and I'll just eat more whole foods, more fruits, more veg. Basically what I would do is I would just account for the extra calories of foods that aren't lower calorie. So say if I wanted a chocolate bar but there was no lower calorie alternative, then I'll just have a chocolate bar and just count it into my calories and just understand that that day I might be a little bit more hungry because I can't fit a lower calorie alternative in, if that makes sense. So it's literally like how I like to think of my calories is like, is it worth like money? It's like, is it worth spending that money on? And sometimes like if you've got a budget, you're not going to spend it on the most expensive things. You're going to try and like do go and get the lower alternatives or whatever, but sometimes you can save up a little bit, or sometimes it's worth it in that moment to spend that little bit of extra money. So that's kind of how I do it and how I would do it, if that makes sense. Where did you find your coach for comp prep, and what is the cost-ish? So coaches are varied prices. There's that, like, it literally depends. And I was looking at like proper like competition prep coaches with experience and stuff, but I ended up just staying with my personal trainer, who literally I feel like I have to really trust the person to be my prep coach, if that makes sense. And I trusted him. I've been like literally, he's been coaching me basically since I started losing weight. And for me, I just knew it was my first competition. I was going for transformation. I feel like it takes a lot for me to trust someone and to do competition prep and stuff like that. I really wanted to go with someone I trusted, and that was Pete, my trainer, who is still my trainer now. Even though he'd never prepped anyone for competition before, we kind of viewed it as it's both our first time for both of us, if that makes sense. And I trusted him to do as much research as he can, and I was doing research as well. We kind of just tried our best, and I knew he would do his best by me, rather than someone who you could just find online that probably has hundreds of girls that they're coaching that will get them to do like silly stuff just because they want them to look good for them, if that makes sense. Like they only care about like the short-term results and not actually about their health. And I knew Pete cared about my health, not just like getting me on stage. So that's why I went with him. Does your loose skin impact you significantly? Does it impact your confidence towards intimacy? Thankfully, I've been with Rashawn, my partner, since like for years. How long? 13 years I've been with him. So he was with me when I was not so big, like I was overweight, but not like overweight. He's been with me through giving birth to 2 beautiful babies, and he saw me get to my biggest, and he loved me then, and he never made me feel like I was like disgusting or anything. Like he never really looked at me like that. So since I lost weight and I've got a bit of loose skin, he's seen it. So he's never like, it's never been something where I thought, oh, he's looking at me and he thinks it's disgusting. So thankfully for me, I haven't had that problem. It doesn't bother me on a day-to-day thing, to be honest. Sometimes like I can get a bit low about it especially if I find that I'm comparing myself and my body to other people that I see on Instagram, which is silly to do. And I always tell myself not to do that, but sometimes, you know, we're all human, we all do it, and you have to kind of remind yourself that everyone's just posting up their best pictures, best angles. A lot of people are, you know, editing their photos. Some people just haven't been on the same journey I have. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like when I put it into perspective, I feel a lot more better about myself, because I'm like, from where I've come to where I'm at now, I'm happy. So yeah, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't impact my health or anything. It is more just of a aesthetic thing, and I don't walk around naked half the time, so no one sees it apart from me and Rashawn. How did you overcome procrastination, and how did you motivate yourself to lose weight? Did you ever get injured due to weightlifting? Did you get a personal trainer? So how did I overcome the procrastination? I'm telling you, I procrastinated about losing weight for a very long time. I'd always be like, oh yeah, I'm going to lose weight, and then I'd never do it. Or like I'd say I'll start on Monday and I never did it. So yeah, how I overcome that was I just got so sick and tired of the way I felt. I went out for Ashley's birthday and I wore this top. I've spoken about it so many times, but I wore this top and it was so tight for me. I felt horrible. I already wanted to lose weight. I already had a plan that I was going to lose weight. I saw my friend had lost loads of weight, and she was like me, struggling with her weight her whole life, and she'd kept it off, and that motivated me. And then the night that I just felt like rubbish and I was so done feeling like that, just gave me that extra push. And then once I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I was like, I was head set on it. I was like, I'm not giving up. I deserve to feel so much better. I don't deserve to feel like this. And I've had quite a few little injuries from weightlifting. Nothing really big. Like, obviously I injured my back, but that wasn't weightlifting. That was trying to do a pull-up bar on a pull-up bar. Don't ever get a pull-up bar, I'll tell you that now. You see that video? That right there, that little spot there, I fell down, landed on my coccyx and messed up my back for a very long time. We'll never get that again. I literally got PTSD from it. Every time I think of the video or see the video, like literally my coccyx retracts, my asshole goes inside. So injuries like from weightlifting, I have had little niggles. It's so annoying. Like I get like sometimes like random knee pain. I get like shoulder pain sometimes. My elbow, like I find like I've got loads of like little jointy problems, if it makes sense, like just little niggles. I try to take it easier when I do have that. Like at the minute I've got like, it's like a little weird pain in my elbow, so I'm just taking it very easy. I have started taking some supplements for my joints, glucosamine and something else, I forgot what it is. I think that's how you say it. I literally, you guys know I can't read and pronounce things at the same time, like we know this. Yeah, that's my makeup. I'm just gonna set my face. Yeah, I just work around any injuries I do get. I say injuries, I'm thankful that I haven't actually like really hurt myself. It's just little niggles, and I know that if I pushed through it, then I've got a really itch on my nose. I know if I push through it, then I would end up like causing a serious injury, and I don't want to do that because I know I would end up off the gym, and I don't want to do that. That's like the worst thing I could think of. So yeah, I just train around it and go lighter and just be extra careful. Don't push through the pain, and that's helped me. But yeah, I do like, I think weight training, it is normal to kind of get like little injuries here and there, especially like overuse injuries, which I have on my feet quite a lot from walking quite a lot. So like sometimes I get like joint pain in my big toe, and I know it's like I've been walking too much, so I just kind of try to go back a little bit, like, okay, I need to rest. And it's just, I just try to listen to my body, and when my body is starting to have little niggles, I know it's telling me something, so I don't ignore it. I do focus on like listening to my body and resting when I feel like I need to. So yeah, and I got this really bad itch on my nose. I'm not picking my nose, I promise. But yeah, that is my makeup done, guys. I'll come closer. So should we do like the posing thing that they do on makeup videos? Should we do it? So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my weight loss Q&A. I do have so many more questions, so I'm sorry if I didn't get to go through your question. If you would like me to do a part 2 to this, maybe I can do my hair, or we could just sit down and have a coffee. Which, my coffee is cold now. On my days, I forgot about my coffee. Cold coffee. Cold coffee. No, can't do it. No, okay. Cool. Next time we're going to have a Pepsi Max. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.